Welcome back to your Afternoon Express Masterclass, and this Tuesday, it is all about baking, and the opportunities and the options of what to do are endless. So that leads us to our social media question. Happy World Baking Day. What is a baked treat that you could never say no to? Make sure you use that hashtag Afternoon Express in all of your comments. Now, the world of baking has so much to offer, but we thought that we would take you down memory lane and show you a recipe that has certainly made a massive comeback. The classic Quiche Lorraine, made with Clover Classic Fat Spread. Dumi, lead the way, girl.
I love that you touched on the Clover Classic Fat Spread because that's our main ingredient in today's quiche. We're going to be using it for the base chef that you're going to be making. And the great thing about it is we always talk about how versatile ingredients are. Yeah. It is versatile in the fact that you don't just use it for spreading. You don't just use it for baking. And here, we're going to be using it as the base of our quiche. And the one thing for me is that touch of Clover fresh cream that it has in it, just giving it that additional spreadability. So, Chef, can you maybe just show us how to actually make that base and what we need for it?
Well, you're going to start with your base of flour. That gives you the body, that gives you the structure, which we've added a pinch of salt to. Okay. And then if you, Pali, can do me a favour and start putting little spoonfuls in here, and I'm going to act as a little human scale. You must measure, as we've told you.
I actually was about to ask that. So how much of this Clover fat spread can I put?
Just go, come, go. Put your spoons. And
love
spoon there. Right, spoons in there. So very important to measure things out there. More, let's go, please. So you want, enough to sort of work with your flour. And again, what's going to happen is this fat spread is going to coat your flour, which is going to keep it lovely and moist and sucked in. Let's go a little bit more.
Okay,
I
more?
think we're at about 55 grams at the moment so far.
Because like, Chef, earlier when we were talking about the baking essentials, we touched on butter or any type of fat being room temperature or eggs being room temperature.
Another one.
But today we're using our Clover Classic Fat Spread and we want it to be cold.
Absolutely. So one thing with going back to sort of tips and that, when you're doing things like pastry, pastry do in the morning, early in the morning, when you wake up at 5 o'clock, right? Well, not according to you,
not
apparently.
me.
No, I heard you didn't.
Yeah, you don't know me.
Pastry generally done in the morning.
Yeah.
So any sort of pastry-related kind of things, you're making a pain au chocolat, you're making a puff pastry, you're making a sort of even a hot water crust pastry, and then your cakes and your biscuits and things do later on the day because the atmosphere is a lot warmer as well.
Yes.
So think of all that, because that's really important when it comes to baking. Then from there, what we want to do is just start cutting with your hands, or you can get your, with your spoons. You can get your hands into there as well, and just start sort of breaking that up, because what you want to do is allow it to resemble like breadcrumbs. But I'm going to get in here because I love it. Now, I have hot hands. And don't tell me I have a cold heart, because I don't have a hot heart as well. I'm hot everywhere. But anyway, what you want to do is just quickly work with this. I know I struggle with hot hands, so I'm going to quickly sort of just bring that together and just keep working that. And what you see is you're going to create these lovely sort of like breadcrumbs kind of thing. So keep working this as quickly as you can. And now, once you've got the sort of roughened texture of breadcrumbs, what we're going to add in is just a little bit of water. Well, you can actually do it for me, buddy. Just a little splash. Yeah, little splash. Enough. That's just going to bring it together. So then you can start sort of compacting it together, squishing it all up, and what you're going to find is it's all going to start coming together very quick and very easy.
It quite literally is coming together in
that water makes a huge difference. So bring that together and just keep working that so it all comes and forms a lovely dough. You're then going to wrap it up in cling film for about 20 minutes so it rests. Remember, you've developed the gluten.
Yes.
So let's pass you that as well there. Now, I'm not one for adding more flour, so here's my multi-million-dollar trick for those of you who hate washing and cleaning your kitchen counter, is I roll my pastry between cling wrap.
Oh,
so,
wow.
taking that onto there.
Because, Dumi, I mean, we normally put the flour on the actual counter.
Yes.
We also put it on the pin, and then we kind of roll it out. But this is such a better...
Well, because when you're adding flour, you're changing the recipe.
Yeah.
So quickly doing like that, and then that way as well, and then that way, that way, that way, that way. And then you can start sort of just to sort of roll it out, okay? So keep rolling it out. And when it sort of curls up like that, like Alibaba's shoe... You remember that?
I do.
Yeah? No,
Princess Aladdin. Alibaba and the 40 Thieves.
And there we go. And then you want to release it back down because you don't want to tear the pastry. And then keep working that way. Another nice thing is you can chase it around to get a lovely circle. So keep working around like that. And as it starts to curl up, take that top sheet if you've got somewhere. We'll find it again. There it is. And then just free it and put it back down again. And off you go to make sure it is large enough to cover your base.
We've got our eggs that I've added into here. I've also got some bacon that we fried up a little earlier, so that goes into the bowl as well. And then we're going in with some of our onions that we've also sauteed with some garlic in there as well. So this is the base of how it normally is. This is how the quiche Lorraine normally would be.
That's the classic part.
That's the
classic, the traditional part, the ethos of a quiche Lorraine.
Mushrooms and tomatoes wouldn't normally be in a quiche Lorraine, the original, the classic. But because, like we like to say, we want to be able to use whatever that's in our fridge. We want to be able to make our dishes go a long way. So if you've got some extras in your house, why not? Give it a try, give it a shot. Add whatever flavors are significant to you and whatever touches of yourself you want to add into there. So I've added a bit of my bacon into this mixture. I've added those eggs that we had, some milk. I've added some tomatoes into there as well. And like you said, Chef, we also don't want to overfill this because of the egg. It will still rise up.
Eggs, raisinade, it's just going to sort of puff up. But you've put it into a lined thing. So now what you're going to do is remove, I'm going to come to the lining part, is remove your top layer. And you can pick it up, you can dance with your pastry if you want. And then you can pop it straight into your...
Easy.
Oh, I know, how easy is that?
Because I was wondering now, Chef, how are you going to be able to juggle? So I suppose that's why having the cling film is the best.
Oh, cling film in this instance is your best friend. Okay. Then, very importantly, is because pastry will shrink, those little sides, and you can't get all that lovely filling. What you want to do is peel it back and then chase with your fingers underneath into the corners, into the corners, into the corners, into the corners, and then work your way all the way around, pushing it into there, then popping it up the sides there, pushing it down. Take your rolling pin, roll that way.
To get rid of the...
that way, the excess there.
Excess.
Yeah. Then you can go around and...
peel it off.
Peel it off like that.
Baking times, temperature, what do we need to remember?
I want to put this, usually, I will put this into a freezer and freeze it overnight because actually it will stop the shrinking when you put it into the oven. But generally what you now need to do is chill this, line it with that cartouche, remember I showed you on your own, 180-degree oven, blind bake it for sort of 5 to 8 minutes, and then remove the cartouche, and then blind this lovely and golden brown, brush it with egg white because that will prevent a soggy bottom, if you want, and then you can fill it just like that.
Yeah.
Easy
the filling in there, that goes into the oven to bake for 30 minutes. It would have been at 200 degrees when you did the base, but now we drop it to 180 for the filling at 30 minutes. But until it's just nice and stiff, solid, then your baby is ready to eat and enjoy.
Mzansi Sengizwile, I've had a taste myself and it is absolutely delicious. Truly, truly classic. So to get this recipe, head over to afternoonexpress.co.za. Now with Clover Classic, you can stand a chance to win a share of 500,000 Rand in prizes. To enter, buy any Clover Classic custard, dairy snack, fat spread or mayonnaise and WhatsApp the till slip of your purchase to 074 909 0000. T's and C's do apply and can be found on clover.co.za. Classic, timeless taste.
So, we've had classic fashion from Timby, classic cars, thanks Chad, and we've seen classic hairstyles. And you, Michael? Classic!
A classic range from Clover. Timeless taste.
Made with love by Clover.